Hey, beautiful souls. It's Penny back with another episode of Penny on Your Thoughts podcast. A lot of thought has gone into today's episode. You know me, I love to riff. I don't script things. I find that if I do anything beyond bullet points, it's just difficult for me to get it out because it doesn't allow for me to follow the energy in the way that I would like. But I have put a lot of thought into today's episode. The last not even 24 hours, since late yesterday afternoon, really, I found myself sitting in this place of observing my ego, observing my ego experiencing sadness, observing my ego wanting to get into feelings of uh, not disappointment, but a feeling of longing for people to see. And that is where the sadness comes from, is people not seeing what is so simple, what is so basic, and what is in front of each and every one of us. We are energetic beings, we are spiritual beings. We were literally created and born out of love. And if your mind immediately goes, well, how do you know I was born out of love? My parents, then you're missing the point. I'm not talking about the 3D. We came from a place where we were pure energy, pure consciousness, a frequency of gratitude, love, and just peace within existence before we came into this physical plane. Yes, we came into this physical plane to have a 3D experience. We voted for this. We signed up for this. We're like, hell yes, I want to go be a part of shifting Earth. I want to be a part of raising the frequency and consciousness on the planet. We all signed up for that. The thing is, when we're born, many of us forget. And it has to do with a lot of things, which I'm not going to get into. But you have a divine frequency. You have a baseline thermostat setting of love, of acceptance, of peace, of joy. And anytime that we're feeling anything that is not that love, peace, or joy, or gratitude, then we have experienced an attachment. And I don't mean spiritual attachment, I mean mental, emotional attachment, a 3D attachment. We have experienced an attachment to something, or deep within us, we know that there's something else that we would rather be doing. And we are making choices and decisions, and we are speaking words that are not aligned with what we know our truth to be. Now, people will say, oh, speak your truth. That's in the woo woo spiritual coaching. Speak your truth is a real thing. And I'm not speaking of it from that perspective. Right now, what I'm sharing with you is my truth. It is truth with a capital T, not truth with a little t, which is our beliefs, perceptions, and all of those things. Our truth is that we are love. Our truth is that we are energetic, and we all came here to play our own unique and distinct role in elevation of the consciousness of the planet. And one of the reasons I have been experiencing, I've been watching. So I speak often about not being in our emotions. Don't get stuck in your emotions, but to become the observer. And there have been several moments in the last 24 hours where my ego wanted to get into my emotions. I'm like, no, no, let's step back. What is really going on here that this part of me is feeling this sadness? And this is why I'm recording this podcast episode for you today. The part of me that's experiencing sadness is the ego part of me that knows that truly the solution to what is going on in the world, the solution to your challenges, the solution to conflicts, to violence, to cancel culture, the solution to politics, and anything and everything that you could get into, the solution is Aini and Munai. Those are Incan terms. You can go Google them, Aini, Ayni, and Munai, Munay. But these principles are found in pretty much every major philosophy and religion. And it's the principle of love without condition. Love without condition, unconditional love, and reciprocity. I made a post on my Facebook one day and I just put, do you practice reciprocity in your business? And it was interesting the responses that came through into what the perception of reciprocity, what that means. A lot of people were taking reciprocity to mean bartering or services for services. The law of reciprocity is about giving with an open heart. Giving with an open heart. That is reciprocity. And it doesn't mean giving your services in your business. So if you're an entrepreneur and you happen to be listening, you're like, well, I can't give my services away. That's not what I'm talking about. Reciprocity is service. Reciprocity can be tithing. Reciprocity can be charitable contributions of your time, your money, your items. So, for example, when I go through and I have a major declutter in the house, some things need to go into the trash or the recycle, but I don't just throw everything out. I take those things and I donate them to a local thrift shop that uses that money to fund yet more charity. So the law of reciprocity is paying it forward, but you're paying it forward without attachment to anything. So if you're someone who's heard that, oh, when you practice reciprocity, when you donate, when you tithe, the universe pays you back for that. If you engage in reciprocity with the expectation you're going to get something in return, it's not the same. When we are in an energy that we need to point out that someone's wrong, when we're in an energy that I'm right, you're wrong, or this never should have happened. What do you think about this? When we amplify an energy that is an energy of attack, it's an energy of judgment, that it is an energy of making people wrong, then we're literally attracting more of that back to us. If we truly want to see the world be a better place, we've all heard these cliches: be the change you want to see in the world. All change starts within. You, as one person, can change the world. Like, we hear these cliche things, and we're like, oh, yeah, that sounds great. I love that. But not very many people follow through on that. And it's because we get sucked into life, we get sucked into the busyness of life, and we think, oh, well, that's nice, but I have bills to pay. Oh, well, that's nice. I have kids to get off to school. Oh, well, that's nice. I need to hustle and grind in my business. We get to do the inner work first, but it doesn't have to just be the inner work. One of the things that I used to love to see, I would love to literally binge videos of people doing random acts of kindness. Random acts of kindness. And it makes us all feel good, right? Have you ever opened the door for someone and they were very appreciative? Have you ever bent down to pick up something that someone dropped in the store or wherever and handed it to them? You know, just little things. And you see the difference that it makes. It shifts someone's energy. Each and everything that we do, we want that energy of love behind it. If what you're doing, whether it's the words you're speaking, the actions you're taking, if what you're doing does not have the energy of love behind it, it is not aligned with your spirit. It is not aligned with your soul. And it creates friction within us when we engage in these activities. Now, we're all at different places on the journey. And I remember where I was in 2018. Well, back in 2017, I carried the fuck around and find out energy. That's who I was. Fuck around and find out. You know what? In my mind, I had things built up that if people didn't live by certain values or standards, go fuck yourself. Go fuck yourself. And I picked that up long ago. That was part of my response in the way I coped with the world. And I did some healing in early 2018 to just address some things that were going on in my life. If you've listened to past episodes, episode 155, I dive into it. And I think way back in episode 21, not sure, you can go back and listen if that's something that you want to do. But when I really chose to go deeper, and who do I need to be? Who do I need to be successful as an entrepreneur? Because that was the tripwire. I had started my business, reopened a practice here in Mississippi after moving from Connecticut, and I knew there was something missing. I did not have anyone to show me how to really be successful in business, and I knew there was something missing. And that's when I signed up for the first coaching program, thinking I was joining this coaching program to be more successful in my business. And what I learned is I was joining that coaching program to be more successful within myself, to love myself more, to shed the beliefs and the behaviors that were going to get in my way, and to learn how to embody the things that would allow that success to come. And it began my journey, I would say, oh gosh, within 6 months, after 2 rounds of that coaching, I reached the point where I could easily recognize when I was going back into that behavior and have peace that people are being who they're being. It was a huge transition. It was a massive transition. And a key part of that was the intensive in-depth hypnosis that I personally went through, the same process that I take many, not all, but many of my clients through, that allowed me to have a true, deeper understanding of what it means to take ownership and responsibility for how I feel, and to not allow myself to be triggered for others, to accept that people are on their own path. It's so ego. And this used to be me, okay? This used to be me. It is so ego to think that people need to conform to what we want, to what we think is right, when nothing is but an opinion and a perception to begin with. And I recognize that statement It's going to trigger a lot of people. Well, people need to follow the rules. People need to be right. People need to do right. People don't owe you anything. You don't owe anyone anything. I don't owe anyone anything. We can either choose to accept that people are in their own place on the path, or we can continue to have resistance and resentment that they aren't where we think they should be. And when we have that resistance, that expectation, that resentment, we are placing conditions on love. And the only way to really come to a place where we can begin to unconditionally love others is to unconditionally love ourselves. And that is the journey. We will have moments where we fully feel into that unconditional love for ourselves. And then the 3D will have an experience and it'll snap us back. And we get to learn from that experience and we get to move forward again and recognize that we are love, we are peace, we are joy. We were created that way. But to come to this next level of understanding of where people are and to move into acceptance, not acceptance of their behavior, but acceptance that they are where they are. And with the tools, the experiences that they've had, and the abilities that they have, most people are doing their best. Are there people out there who know what's right and they simply choose not to do right? Absolutely. This sadness comes from this continual observation of people just tearing other people down when situations that happen absolutely do not pertain to them, that they're destroying people's reputations when they don't have all the facts. A news headline, hello, a news headline and an article, the chances are that it's based on 100% fact is probably zero. It's probably zero. And unless you can literally put yourself into the perspective of each person involved, any comments, thoughts, judgments that we make are pure assumption. They're assumption. And when we get into this energy of judgment and making assumptions, we pull our energy down, we pull our vibration down, and we're sending energy into the collective consciousness that says, I want more of this, please. If you believe in the quantum, you may not believe in woo woo, but if you believe in the quantum, it's the same thing. It's the same thing. Someone once asked me, this was right after the war in Ukraine broke out. And I had made a post. I really don't remember what it was now, but basically about the energy that we put out, we attract more of it. And it's because so many people were in fear. So many people were in fear, and I was doing my best to be in a place of love and compassion for people experiencing what they were experiencing, but at the same time, from a place of love, to say we have to be aware that when we're in this state of fear, we're bringing more of this back to us. Someone who I love very much, she's very dear, she commented on the post because she has family in Ukraine. And I'm paraphrasing. She said, well, what about the people of Ukraine? Did they, and I'm paraphrasing again, did they manifest the war? And I said, nobody that I know of would send out the energy of, I want to attract war in my life. But we send out the energy of fear. Think about the pandemic had happened, and we were still in the throes of the pandemic. So the pandemics happened. There was a massive amount of fear that had been created globally. People being afraid of control, afraid of dying, just all sorts of things. That fear went out into the global collective consciousness. what happens? Other situations that generate fear manifest. So no one put in their order and said, yes, universe, I would like one order of war today with a side of genocide. Nobody does that. But it's the fear. It's the anger. It's the anger, fear and anger. When we send those emotions out, we're bringing those things back in. It's why when I talk to my clients about their self talk and what's going on in their lives, to talk about what you do want, do your best to avoid talking about what you don't want. So, talk about what you do want. Don't talk about what you don't want, because words have frequency and vibration when we think them, when we speak them, when they get shared, those things go out into the consciousness. Could I give you an example? Yes, absolutely. When the situation, and I know it's ongoing, I'm not ignorant, I'm just going specifically to the moment last year when the Israel Palestine Hamas flared up again. Hate really needs to end. I totally agree with that. And there's this beautiful soul who started a campaign, hashtag stop the hate, or break the hate, not stop the hate, break the hate. And I 100% agree with the concept, but I don't necessarily agree with the wording of it. And it's because of what I know about the mind, frequency, energy, and consciousness. Because when you use hashtag break the hate, the energy and attention is on hate. But here's what I know, because of the frequency and energy of the consciousness of people on the planet, stopping hate is going to get more momentum than something like hashtag spread the love. Spread the love. That's the opposite of break the hate. Spread the love, build bridges of love. I totally understand. But when we speak about what we want, when we speak about how we want to feel, we have to use the words, the frequency, the vibration of what we want in our lives, not what we're attempting to avoid, not what we want to get rid of, not what we would want to see disappear. And it's one of the reasons why I stay off the news media. I do not listen to talk radio. I will periodically read news articles, and I read them when I'm not hungry, angry, lonely, tired, so that I can read them critically and not for information. It's a very important distinction, so that when we read those things, we can be objective and pay attention to what's the source of this information? Is this really true? Is there something that feels off about it? So we want to be out of our emotions when we are consuming information like that, but be in love, be in reciprocity. One small act of kindness, if you take that principle and you think about acts of kindness, you think about showing love, you think about acting out of love and out of reciprocity, if you take that into every choice that you make, your life can't help but get even better. People around you will notice. It will change the energy of the people around you. It will change the energy of the people that you network with in business, online, at your career, at your kids' sports events, wherever and whatever it is. It is going to make a difference. At the end of the day, we're all human, and we all have our own experiences and perceptions. I've shared this before. Even identical twins growing up in the same identical household, they have different perceptions. Their perceptions are not the same, because when there's one parent home and both babies are crying, one gets picked up first. When You're singing happy birthday to them at their birthday. One might get hugged first, the other one gets hugged second. They might get identical gifts, and one of them on the inside really didn't like what they were getting, but everyone thinks it's cute to get identical twins gifts. And the other twin may absolutely love it. And so their perception is what I want doesn't matter. Our experiences form our perceptions. And it makes it a lot easier to be in compassion and to try to be in a place of observation rather than judgment when we recognize that we really don't know. We don't know anyone's experience. And to know that we all came here from love. We all came here from love. One of the beautiful things that I love about hypnosis, before I began my deeper spiritual teachings, the thing I love most about hypnosis is the process that I take people to allows them to reconnect with and to allow themselves to experience love in a way that many people have never experienced it before. Pure, unconditional love and compassion for themselves. If helping other people to love themselves, if helping other people to be happier, to be in a greater state of self acceptance, if helping the world to be a better place in whatever small way that you can, though hypnotic transformation is not small at all when you do it this way. If that is something that is pulling at you, then I encourage you to take a look at my next hypnosis certification training that's coming up at the end of February. I will be closing enrollment on probably Valentine's Day. And the reason why is there's 25 to 30 hours of self-study, and I have to ship you your materials. You want to get your training materials before the course starts. So if it's something you might even remotely be interested in, helping people to just live a more loving, fulfilling life, to be able to move through their life without the shame, the guilt, the anger, the baggage of the past, so that they can accomplish what they want, then look into it. The website is pennychason.com/certify me. Go check it out. If you have any questions, reach out. Let me know. I am happy to answer them for you. I hope you can feel the love that I'm really creating this episode with, because it's with love that this message is meant to come through. It's with love that I wish everyone whose ears hear this podcast, it's with love that I want you to be able to find something that positively shifts and changes the way you think about yourself, who you are in the world, what your potential is, what you can accomplish. That is my goal. I want you to hear that with love. And that's really going to freak some people out. And that's okay. That's okay. Next week. See you later. Bye.